Okay, hello everybody. I am live. I'm just going to click go live on Instagram here. See if we can do this. All right. Welcome everybody. I have things a lot more put together this week. I have, as you can see, an overlay. It's not perfect, but it was the best I can work on my own on Canva. And graphic design is just not my forte, but I really wanted to have studio lights up to kind of give me more illumination so I don't look so dark with all the sunlight behind me here in Georgia. And yeah, I'm streaming on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at the same time. I'm Cliff Chambliss. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I am an author. I just published the book Entrepreneur Power Up. So I'll put the link in the description on how you can get this book. This book is the story of how I grew my first company in 1 year without using paid ads and disrupted an industry and sold my company. So it's a really great emotional story, but it also talks about all the different tactics I used to organically grow my online business without having to pay for ads because I didn't have money for ads. I had to be creative. So I'm very excited about my book. I also have an executive master's of business administration degree, and I'm very happy about that and proud of that, and look forward to just helping everyone out who is struggling to get an online business up and running. So I run a free community on the SKOOL app. And most of the purpose of these lives on Saturdays are to answer questions from my community. And I do have a theme of some questions that have come up this week, and that is drop shipping. So I'm going to talk about drop shipping on this live broadcast. But if you do have any questions and you happen to be watching while I'm live, I can see the chat from all three platforms, whether it's Facebook or Instagram or YouTube. And so I will be watching that and I'll be sure to answer any questions that you have while I'm doing this live. But in the meantime, I'm going to get right into drop shipping and talk a bit about that today. So drop shipping is, and stay tuned because as I talk about drop shipping, the really interesting hacks and things that I find useful and that I coach my clients to do is going to be towards the end of my live. So I'll have chapters. Once I get this done, I'll have chapters marked for this. So if you're watching this, that's already been recorded, you can skip to those if you want to. Okay, so how drop shipping works for those who are not familiar with it, basically you set up a website, you offer products that are not yours, you don't carry these products at all in your house or in a warehouse or anything like that. And then when someone clicks on your product and buys the product from you, then it's your responsibility to order that product from another company or supplier and send it to that customer. And that's it. I mean, you don't have to handle anything. You're just basically making sure they're just kind of the middleman is what you're doing. It's a really popular business model, and it's pretty easy to set up. So it's popular because it hardly costs anything to start up. You don't have to buy any inventory. At most, you're looking at a website to be hosted. You get your domain name and set up your PayPal account or Stripe account to collect payments. And you just start making money off of people buying the product. So it's a very simple business model, and it's just easy to get into. And so the profit margins are about 15 to 20% on the markups that people do. And because it's so easy to do, a lot of people get into drop shipping, and it becomes a very competitive environment. In business, we call that a red ocean, which means it's highly competitive and it's hard to break through. So I've got some tips here for all of you watching that are going to hopefully help you be as successful as possible if you're going to start drop shipping. And so my first tip is, if you're going to drop ship, you want to go for something as niche as possible. You want to really find something that you don't have a lot of competition in. And my last video, I talked about how you want to match up your business with your passions, okay? And for drop shipping, that applies as well. So I believe, because you're going to be working on this and dealing with this a lot. So if your passion, for example, is video gaming, I'll just use that. It's really hot right now, right? Half of the world plays video games. Well, let's say you pick a particular genre of video game, and then within that video game, you find products online that you can drop ship to people based on that video game. That's just an example of niche. So then you open up a store, you offer those products, and then people who are fans of that video game, the hardcore fans, they'll buy it from you, right? And you get the profit. And then the supplier turns around and sends it to your customers. That's a great example of being niche. That way, there's not a lot of other people selling that same product. If you wanted to sell like pants or I don't know, just electronics and stuff like that, things like that are just, I mean, they're just saturated. You can Google the product that you're thinking about and see that everyone's selling it. And then what happens then is it becomes a race to the bottom for the cheapest price possible. And sometimes it's hard to win that in drop shipping. So you definitely want to be niche as possible. And you want that niche to match your passion and whatever it is that you're into. Okay. So that's the first big tip. I'll get into my notes here. So if you've built a website and you've got products or one product or a bunch of products that you're trying to get people to come to your site and buy, there's a lot. The $1 million question is, how do you get people to your site, right, to buy the product? And if it's your own product or you're drop shipping or you're doing affiliate marketing or whatever online business you have, all the concepts are the same. You need to get people to come to your site. You need to find a way to make that happen. So what is very popular in drop shipping are ads. People use ads on Meta, like Facebook, and then they'll buy Google ads. I coach people on ads a bit, but again, the cornerstone of my book and everything that I teach is to not have to use paid ads, because ads are very expensive and you can dump thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars on ads and not see the returns that you want to see. So I think ads can be quick and easy way to get sales if they're done well. Let me take a sip of coffee here. But they can be really expensive, so you have to be very careful. So here's my advice on ads. Now, most big businesses, before they run ad campaigns, they have focus groups and they do randomized surveys and all these things that are pretty expensive before they dump a bunch of money on ads. Now, in our realm with drop shipping, we're small, we're solo entrepreneurs, and so we're probably not going to be doing that. So we don't have focus groups. We don't have high-powered surveys. So here's what we would need to do for ads is we need to gauge the interest on that. And that would be using a tool like Google Trends or something to kind of find out what the general interest is about your product and what that problem is that people are looking to solve and what they need. The next part with ads I recommend is, if you're going to run ads, run 2 to 3 different ads and do not spend hardly any money on it at all. I mean, we're talking just a few bucks a day just to test them out. And this is what you're going to measure, okay? You're not going to measure follows. You're not going to measure engagement. You're not going to measure likes or anything like that. What you are measuring when you run ads is actual sales. They have to buy. That's going to tell you which one of your ads works the best. So if one ad gives you some sales and the others do not, then that's the ad you're going to want to go with. And then you're going to double down on that and pay even more money to run that ad. And hopefully that will bring you more sales. I could talk about ads and marketing for like an hour. That's really not what I'm going to continue on. But if someone who's watching this or someone in my community, and again, I'll put the link to my community in the description as well. If you want to join my community, it's free. I'm happy to help mentor and just help you out with what business that you want to do. But back to that, if you want to learn about marketing more ads, I can certainly bring in some of my expertise on that from what I've learned from school, as well as any research I do. But really, we want to get down to finding hacks and creative ways to do this that don't cost you money. Okay, that's really what we're going to try to do. So now, before I get to the ads and hacks, we do need to talk about your products a little bit more. So we talked about niche a little bit, but now we're also going to talk about as you think about how to reach out to people, whether it's ads or this organic hacks and things that I'm going to get into, we need to think about an emotional connection. That's really the theme here. And we need to find out how your product will help people. or give them some pleasure or something. Everyone's got a need or a crisis. Now, the crisis may not be like, oh, I need to buy a popular video game figure. That's my crisis. Maybe that wouldn't be considered a crisis, but that person's a fan of the game. So their need is to indulge into that entertainment and into that world. And so your products, your advertising, the organic reach, all these things that I'm going to be talking about today have to be geared towards building that emotional connection. So keep that in mind as you think about your product and think about how you're going to reach people. It's going to solve a problem or a crisis or a need that they have. And we have to build that emotional connection. So I have 2 people in my community that asked me this week how to grow their drop shipping. One of them's making thousands of dollars and doing really well. One's making hundreds of dollars, and I consider that a success. I mean, it's amazing to open up a drop shipping store and to start making income. So I want to address that right now as we get into the hacks and the organic growth and things like that about drop shipping. So this is geared towards my community here and the people asking these questions. So there's some obvious things that need to be done on your drop shipping page. And these are things that must be done. This is a checklist of things that if you're going to do this, you make sure these boxes are checked. Okay. 1, you need to be able to collect an email list. So when people come and visit your web page, you need to be able to collect someone's email. And my recommendation is to have a pop-up. I know people are afraid to use pop-ups. They think they're intrusive, but they're visiting your page. And unless you have a pop-up, it's going to be really hard to get their attention for them to give you their email. And the pop-up really needs to have something of value for them to give you their email. You need to trade something to get their email. Now, a lot of online stores will say, if you give us your email, you'll get discount code for 10% off your next order, or 20% off, or you'll get free shipping or something like that. We'll talk about free shipping in a second. Or they'll get a free digital guide on something of topic subject matter that pertains to your store. Either way, it's something that you need to be ready to prepare to have in that little pop-up that, again, is going to help them emotionally meet some needs that they have in exchange for their email. Okay. It's important to collect emails because social media is scrambled with the algorithms, and they change them all the time, and they want your money to create ads because they do that, right? So if I post something on Facebook, for example, a lot of people aren't going to see it, but Facebook wants me to pay them all the time and say, hey, if you give us some money, we'll get this in front of 1,000 people. We don't, you got it in front of 50 people, and even though that's a lot less than how many people follow your page, yeah, we're gonna we'll correct that for you, right? So the trusting those algorithms is very difficult to get your business out there. And so email lists are a way for you to own that community, and then you can cultivate that community by offering value to them on the email list. Like, let's say you have new products or something that you're going to do, or you're going to have a sale, anything to get them to your page and engage, because at that point they're in your funnel and they're aware of your product, and they may not purchase yet, but you definitely want to keep them engaged and keep them going down that funnel to the point where they're actually going to purchase your product. Okay. That's probably a whole other discussion on how to cultivate email lists, but the main thing is you really need to collect emails. Okay. All right. Number 2, you need to offer free shipping. People with Amazon Prime, they expect free shipping. It just seems to be the thing these days. And if you offer free shipping, it's just one more reason people can easily convert and just buy your product if they know they're not going to have another charge show up in their shopping cart. If it eats up in your profitability to offer free shipping, then I suggest you raise your prices a bit and then offer free shipping. Some websites will say, well, free shipping if you spend $75 or more. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. If you're really popular and you have a lot of demand for your product, you can certainly do that as well. But if you're really just starting out and you're struggling, let's put it this way, would you rather make only 15% profit instead of 20% and get sales? You try to make 20% and you don't get any sales because you're not offering free shipping, but you'll make 15% if you offer free shipping. Yeah, you eat the 5%, but you're still making some profit, right? How many times can you do that? Well, infinite amount of time to keep getting that profit, right? So my suggestion, how I coach my clients, is when you have a website, you want to have it front and center on your website at the top, on the header of the website, free shipping. Okay, that needs really to be the first thing that people see when they come to your site, besides the pop-up asking for their email. They really need to see you offer free shipping. Okay, that's just a really big deal. It's my philosophy, and with my own store and my book, that was one of the tactics I did. I had to eat the shipping to sell the product, and it made an enormous difference in the amount of sales I got. Okay, all right. Next thing, money back guarantee. People expect that 30-day satisfaction guarantee, 30-day money back guarantee. That needs to be front and center as well. That should probably be right next to free shipping. You need to do what you can to make people feel comfortable and that they trust you when you come to your website. So what does that really mean? It means that if someone doesn't like the product, you drop ship them, you have to deal with them. You're the customer service. You're the one who sold it to them. You're not the one who shipped it to them. You're not the one who made the product, but you sold it to them. So they're going to come to you and say, I don't like this product, or it doesn't work, or it broken, or it arrived broken, or whatnot. You're going to have to refund them the money within 30 days. That's your return policy. And I'll get to the return policy and why this is so important with one of my hacks with Google here coming up. Okay, but the return policy needs to be public. You need to have a return policy, and it needs to be 30-day satisfaction guarantee. That's just common. If you don't have that, then people may not be likely to trust you and may not be as likely to buy your product. Now, what happens when someone wants to return something? Well, you may have them just say, well, we'll give your money back, and then you may not have them return it. I mean, it depends on the supplier. I mean, if you're using AliExpress or something like that, I doubt they're going to take returns. So you're probably just going to have to eat that money and get the money back. Now, something that I did personally with returns with my first company is that when someone wanted to return the physical product, I just had them send it back to me, and I refunded them. And I sent them a like an email of a FedEx label, and they just printed it and slapped it on the box and sent it back to me. And the cool thing is that when I got the return product, I found other uses for it. And I'll get to that when I get to my hacks here in a little bit, okay? Because everything is just looped together where you could find uses for other things and find ways to grow your business, even from something unfortunate like getting a return. Now, the return rate for my product particularly was less than 1%. People typically do not do a lot of returns because it's a hassle when it's online business. I mean, even on Amazon, I have to, if I do returns, which we do a couple times a year, I kind of batch them. I have to drive out to UPS and get labels printed there, and sometimes I have to box it up and buy the box. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of a hassle. Okay, so a lot of people think very carefully before they ask for returns for online business products. The main thing is you want people to feel comfortable and to trust you. Okay, number three thing that's really important. I'm sorry, number four. Money back was number three. Number four is SEO. That seems so cliche. That stands for search engine optimization. But this is important because this is part of driving organic traffic to your site. You need to make sure your site tickles the search engine, particularly on Google, so that people will find your product and everything a lot easier. So there's couple parts of it that are top of my mind. One is keywords, and Google has keywords that you can purchase as a company and rank on the first page. So if you're a drop shipping site and you're going against a major retail like Target or Walmart or something like that, they're going to own all the biggest keywords. Okay. You won't be able to outrank them that easily, if at all. So you have to find keywords that are searched very often but have low competition. And how you do that is I don't have it on this video, but I will tell you how to do it. And maybe I'm going to create a video on how to do it if you guys ask me to. So, but you go to Google AdWords and you can actually put in certain keywords and see what the competition is for that last month, how many searches, and whether the competition was low and high. So me personally, I go for low competition, but it has to be searched between 10 and 100,000 times. So if you find that sweet spot, then you copy those keywords and you put those onto a list. Those are the words you're going to want to use in your meta tags on your website, on any blogs, any product descriptions, anything that's going to be used to tickle the algorithm on Google, on the search engine, to get people to your site and get your page to rank up higher on the search results. But at the same time, you're not going against Target and Walmart, big giants like that have, you know, millions of dollars to spend, right, on Google words. So the other part of SEO are backlinks. Those are a little bit trickier. And that backlink is when you get another website to link to your website, and that boosts the SEO rating. There's ratings for your site on Google, and backlinks help boost that rating so that you have a better chance of appearing, that you build trust basically with the search engine. So some people will, there's lists out there of sites where you can petition to get your store put on linked onto that site, and that builds a backlink. There are software as a service AI type products that people are developing that will search stuff for you and find things for you to, companies for you to apply to, and make that work a lot easier. I mean, there's just a lot of stuff out there. There's people out there that are going to charge you a ton of money. They're going to want to charge you a ton of money to make your website SEO friendly. Just be aware of that. A lot of this you can probably do on your own with some research. The people who will do it for you might charge a lot of money, and they may not do it correctly, or it just may not be worth it in the end. So just be careful of those things. So, okay, here's some more other common things for your store. You want to boost the visual appeal of your store, and this is pretty common knowledge, but you'd be amazed when I coach my clients and I look at a lot of websites, and I see things don't look right, or there's just something really not correct in the visual appeal. So you want to make sure you've got really good visuals, good web design. Your logo should really be pristine. Spend money on getting your logo designed. I can't really design logos that well, and so with my first company, I spent a lot of money getting my logo designed and getting it done correctly, where I was really happy with it and it looked really good. So just a recommendation. I mean, there's AI programs and websites that will spit out logos, and that's fine. And, you know, I could probably think of examples of, you know, companies that have logos that are very simple, that are very successful. But the point is that your site needs to look, it needs to look like it is highly professional and just elegant, and that you are worthy to get people's money. Okay, they needs to look trustworthy. That's really the bottom line. So visuals, web design, if you know, you can do templates on your web page. They're getting pretty good these days. If you want, you can pay someone on Fiverr to do what, if they've done good work, you can see what they've done and they can design it for you if you want to save some time. I'm a big proponent of outsourcing when you can, to get out of the busy work type things. But either way, that's just, I won't belabor that. Good, make it look good. To have an LLC. So when you're getting started out, you don't have to have a limited liability company. But as time goes on, it just looks really pristine, that people look at your website and they see that you are a legitimate business, that your limited liability corporation is just a lot of prestige. It's just polished. It just looks really good. It makes you look professional. And again, that builds trust. And for tax purposes, and I recommend, before I even say anything, you need to talk to an accountant. I'm not trying to give you tax advice, but when you have an LLC, you've got more options on how to deduct expenses for a business. Our laws in the United States particularly are built around benefiting companies and businesses. The government wants you to own businesses and create jobs and commerce. So the tax laws are good if you're a business owner. So an LLC can give you some of those benefits, but talk to your accountant about that. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Okay, you need to have a blog with articles. This is part of the SEO thing, but it's also a reason for giving people a reason to come to your site. And this actually, I mean, this leads into the hacks to boost sales, but I'm just going to start with the blog articles. All right. When people are searching for things online to solve their problems or for entertainment or whatever the things we talked about earlier, having articles on your blog, it just makes your site look good. It makes you look active, like you just didn't set this up and you're just sitting there doing nothing. People do like to see that you're an active business, that you're an active company. That's one thing. And two, the other thing is that, as I mentioned earlier, people are searching for answers and searching for things. And your articles can bring a lot of that search traffic in, especially if you've done your due diligence on those Google AdWords and you put those into your blog. Now, I won't belabor the point of using ChatGPT or something like that, but using AI can help shorten that. If you're going to be doing this on your own, you can certainly write the outline and have ChatGPT fill the rest in and tell ChatGPT to use those keywords. I'm just giving you an example of a hack here. I mean, it's everyone's saying to do this, but the more that you can do and the more you can make it your own, then before you put it in ChatGPT, that's gonna be better because people could sniff out AI written stuff that just sounds like dribble. So be careful about that. But again, having an active blog, if someone's looking for something, and then in your article, it says, well, here's something interesting that solves your question and solves what you're looking for. Oh, and by the way, we sell that product. And here is the picture and the link to that product, right? So you've solved a question, you've added some value, and now people can click on the link and actually buy your product. So I think it's real powerful to have articles and blog posts about solving problems for people or bringing entertainment and value to people, and then having your product featured on that as well. Okay. And it's a good way to capture emails, as we were talking about earlier. All right. Let's talk about some hacks here that can do a lot of the work for you. Okay. Here's some of the good stuff here. You can connect your store to Facebook and Instagram. Those are pretty obvious things, but a lot of people forget to do that or just don't take the time to do that. But I just think you're remiss if you don't have your products listed in other places. You can also connect your store to eBay. You can get APIs and connect your eBay account to your store, and so you can actually list your products on eBay, and that brings a lot more eyeballs and customers to your products that you're selling. You can also connect to Google Marketplace. And like I was saying earlier, when you have terms of service and return policy, those are required actually for a lot of these types of connections. So Google Marketplace is where your products will actually show up in Google. And when people shop for it, they can buy your product directly from Google, but the sale goes right to your store. They don't even have to go to your website. So it's just getting your products out there into more places where people can buy it. But Google has a lot of requirements. So you have to have a public terms of service. You have to have a public return policy that they can see. You have to have a contact form. You have to have a phone number listed on your site. These are things that if you want to be integrated with Google, it's called Google Merchant is what it's called. If you want to be integrated with Google Merchant, you've got to have those boxes checked. Okay. The next thing would be Walmart. You can actually integrate your store with Walmart and have your drop shipping products on the Walmart website. Now, how cool is that? Because Walmart website is like second to Amazon as far as traffic. And so if you're going to drop ship, I highly recommend that you get your store connected to Walmart, especially if you're selling products that are in high demand. That are niche and in high demand. Boy, if you can get niche and high demand all together, then you probably have a good chance of being successful on eBay and Walmart. But Walmart requires a Duns and Bradstreet number. They have some more boxes that you have to check through to get your store connected to Walmart. But it's definitely worth the effort to do that. If you're going to be serious about doing a drop shipping store, you'd be remiss not to be. You're missing out. You really are if you're not connected to these major platforms. Okay, so let's talk about more hacks here. Organic ways to build traffic. All right. So social media, it's cliche, but it's really important. But a lot of my clients that I coach and a lot of people in general, I just don't see them approaching it correctly. And I'm going to get into why here. But there's some obvious things that you need to do when you have your product in social media. Okay. First, a lot of people who drop ship don't actually have their product on hand. And I think that's a mistake. You need to have your product on hand so that you can film a couple videos just on your smartphone of someone using the product or something just to build some steam, and you can keep making little short videos of that product over and over again in different ways. So order your product, get to know it a little bit, or order a few of them, at least the ones that you want to sell, and film it a little bit and show it in use. You don't have to be high tech these days. In fact, that's just the over polished stuff is not popular right now. It's just the home video kind of just curious of the people, like it's a TikTok thing, right? Everyone's watching TikTok and it's just kind of videos at the moment with no editing on your phone, right? Okay, so that's one thing. It's actually pretty obvious, but here's some other things that are not as obvious. One is work with other companies that are complementary to your products. So find another company that's maybe drop shipping or what, it doesn't really matter, but if they have a similar, if they have a product that complements yours and you're not in competition, it's a great opportunity to work with those companies. And how you would do that is just you just contact them and network with them and approach them and say, you know what, I want to help you with your business. We run this business. We think we can really do something to help each other out. And you can do co-promotions. You can share your followings. You can do giveaways. When I ran my first company, I did giveaways with a bunch of other companies. And we'd pool our products together into one big giveaway, and we would run a contest on like X or Twitter, and we would use an app called Gleam. And so people, when you run a contest, you want people to share the contest as much as possible. And people tend to be selfish when sharing contests because they think if they share it, they don't win. Gleam, the gleam.io, that website, if you run it through Gleam, it really fixes that issue because their chances of winning increase by sharing it. They have to share it. And the more they share it, and the more things they do, the more points they get towards the contest. And then they have a better chance of winning. So it really has the encouragement for people to get involved. And we'd run, you know, a $1,000 package giveaway all summer long, and we would get thousands of followers just from running that that giveaway. And it was a great chance to work with these companies because we would constantly sharing each other's social media all the time, and just a good way to go viral and to get more awareness and get people into your funnel, right? That's the point. Building awareness, getting people in your funnel aware of your product. Another hack is to have an affiliate program. Offer money for people who sell your products to others. So Shopify, for example, for drop shipping is probably the king of drop shipping. I am an affiliate of Shopify, so I'll put a link in the description if you want to start your Shopify account. They often run promotions where it's $1 for 3 months. So click on that Shopify link and see. That's who I used for my first company. The affiliate program is great because you want to turn other people into sellers. Now, some affiliate programs are built into, like, for example, the thank you email. When someone buys a product from your store, the thank you email could be sent out automatically. That can tell them, hey, if you want to be affiliate, click here, because then you can make money selling our product, right? And yes, you give up some profit, but would you rather make, you know, some money or no money? That's really the question it comes down to. So managing affiliates is great if you have great software, if you have a great plugin to Shopify. There's companies that have APIs that work great with Shopify, and you can start paying people little bits of money to become affiliate marketers for your store and your product. It's very powerful. It's how I made most of my sales on my first company. It's how I built my community for my first company. So with affiliate marketing, you just make sure that you have people that are part of your site and part of your community. And then when those people start sharing your product, then you start sharing what they're doing. This is the real secret to going viral here, is you make your business about your following. You make your business about your customers. When your customers buy your product, encourage them to show pictures of them using it or videos of them using it, and share it, and then tag them and promote them. And if you have affiliates that are selling your product, promote them over and over again, and it'll bring more affiliates and bring more awareness to your product and more followers and ultimately more sales. So affiliate programs are very powerful. That's pretty much all I have for today as far as drop shipping. I hope this was something useful for you and inspiring to get you going. And if you have more questions, please join my community in the SKOOL app. Again, the link will be in the description. And I just wanted to thank you for being here today. And I hope everyone has a great week. And thanks again.